Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is my learning journey with Teacher Jeffrey. Today we will continue with our study about matter. We will focus on compounds. Do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe. If it gives value to you, please do share it with your friends. Welcome. Come and dive in. In the topic about matter, we are going to study about elements, compounds, and mixtures. Today we are going to focus on compounds. We have learned that matter is anything that has volume and mass. An element cannot be broken down into simple or simpler substances by chemical methods. A compound is a substance that is made up of two or more different elements chemically combined together. A mixture is a substance that consists of two or more different substances that are mixed but not chemically combined together. For our topic today, compound, we will start with its meaning. A compound is a substance that is made up of two or more different elements chemically combined together. Like water, with a chemical symbol of H2O, has two different elements, H for hydrogen and O for oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen are two different elements in a compound water, H2O. The properties of a compound are usually different from those of its constituent elements. The word different in its property will define what a compound is. Let us consider water. Water is a compound and it is liquid in room temperature, while hydrogen and oxygen are gases. They have different physical properties. How are compounds formed? Compounds can be formed when an element and an element react, element and compound react, and when compound and compound react. Our next question that we are going to answer is, can a compound be broken down? How can compounds be broken down? So the answer is yes, by chemical method. An example of chemical method is by passing electrical current through a compound. This is a chemical method called electrolysis. If the terminal is placed in a beaker containing water, the electrical current will separate water into its constituent elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Let us now observe the formation of the compound. We will use sodium hydroxide solution and copper sulfate solution in this experiment. We need an empty test tube. We will place 2 ml of copper sulfate solution into it. Now we will have the copper sulfate in the test tube. We will now take sodium hydroxide solution by using a dropper. And then add 6 drops of sodium hydroxide into the test tube containing copper sulfate. Then observe if a new compound is formed. This is the actual experiment. Watch and observe properly. What is your observation? Is there a new compound formed after the reaction? To answer the question, we will compare the test tube only containing copper sulfate solution to the test tube containing copper sulfate solution and sodium hydroxide solution. These are the test tubes that contains the solution. On the left side is the test tube containing copper sulfate solution, and on the right side is the test tube containing copper sulfate solution and sodium hydroxide solution. Let us compare by looking at each test tube. What is your observation? The test tube containing copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide on the right, there is a solid form after the reaction. Is there a new compound formed after the reaction? Yes, there is a new compound formed. This is our topic for today, compound. Do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe. This is Teacher Jeffrey. Always remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish.